So, hi guys, this is Vivek from Optum. I would like to go with the RouteMAX screens and the RouteMAX application as such, so that you guys can play with it and see the actual scenarios and XPO plan scenarios, and also compare it with the RouteMAX scenarios. So I hope all of you guys received the login information for the RouteMAX application. So this is the login page where you have to enter the credentials. So once you log in, so you see the shipment management page, and so this in the top title bar you see some information with respect to plan date that you guys are looking at for the current scenario, and also what scenario you're looking at. For each plan date, we have given two different scenarios right now. One is XPO plan scenario, and the other one is the RouteMAX sequence scenario, in which the sequencing is done by the RouteMAX application. So and also this is a place where you guys can switch the terminals. We are doing pilot for 3 terminals right now, so you guys see all these 3 here. So if you guys switch it, you guys will switch back to the terminal that you guys chose. So let me go back to NRO. And so I would like to first go with the settings page. Right. So in the settings page, this in the profile screen, you guys will see the information about your current profile, and also you can change the display themes. So right now I've set light theme as my preference, and if you guys are comfortable with the dark themes, you guys can use that. And so the next time you log in, you don't have to change anything. It will be automatically stored against your user preference. So,
hey guys, this is Satish.
I'm sorry, Raghu.
This is Satish.
Hey, Satish. Hey.
Are you guys recording this? It looks like you are. Okay, and you'll share it with us, right? Awesome.
Yeah, we'll share it with you guys at the end.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I've just started, Satish, going over the application, and so I'm right now in the settings page where you can see the profile that you have logged in as, and you can change the display preference, whether you want a light theme or a dark theme. So these are one-time settings, so that next time you log in, you don't have to change it back. It will be automatically captured. The user preference will be automatically captured. And so one other thing is, this is the wave information that we got from XPO team. And you also can see the trailer inventory, how many count of trailers are there in each terminal, and how many of them are liftgate, and all those information can be seen here. And
can you go back to the wave information quickly? Sorry, I missed that one.
Sure. So so for NRO, I guess XPO has provided us one wave cutoff, which is at 10 o'clock. So if you guys see, if you guys have multiple waves in a terminal, you guys will see all that. One starts at 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is the page where you can see that information.
Yeah, can you edit that? I just want to see what criteria you've used.
So editing is just we have not added any validation to it right now, but this is just display information where we update the wave provided by the XPO team. I think for NRO it's just one wave. You can also add waves using. Right.
Got it. So right now you're just tagging the shipments with the wave ID. It's not like it's a search criteria you're using to catch which shipments need to be planned.
No. So anything that is above this last wave cutoff will not be included in the plan. So for instance, if there is a shipment which is arriving by, say, afternoon for the particular plan date, if the wave cutoff time here is 12, then those shipments will not be considered for planning for that particular day.
Got it.
Okay. So Guys, feel free to stop me anywhere if you guys have any questions. So yeah, as I was mentioning, this is the tracer property, where you guys can see the available count that has been given to us from XPO, and you guys can validate that in the screen. And the KPI goal.
Max kits per trailer. Did we give
I'm
that?
Sorry. I don't think so. This is something that we have it on our end, the max kits. So if you guys think this value needs to be changed, you guys can reach back to us.
So Satish, is more like a static thing based on our experience with other carriers. A 48-foot trailer typically has can carry 24. You can stuff 2 more skids. So a van has 26. So this is heuristics. But if you think XPO would like to tweak that number, it's more of a static parameter at this point. Depending on the
so actually, on my way to work here, I was talking to one of my team members over the phone. He's actually creating a distribution of number of skids per trailer by the trailer size. So we'll share that information with you.
Yeah, sure.
And this is the page where you can see the KPI goals set for a terminal. So I think John provided us these information for each terminal, and you can also edit the goal here. So I will show you guys where we are displaying these goals in the route planning page. But this page contains that information. And
hey John, where did you get the goals from? From the B18? John, did you hear me?
Sorry, I'm muted. Go ahead. What was that, Satish?
Where did you get the goal values from?
That was just historical data, a year of data, and then they aggregated it, right? So it came from Cordell Lucas, who's not on the call, so I don't know the exact source file, but he told me that it was about a year of historical data.
Okay, because we have explicit goals defined in a table, and it gets shown in the the scorecards and all that stuff. I just wanted to make sure we provided that, but I'll validate this, and if those values are different from this, I'll let the team know.
So Satish,
Perfect.
you can go ahead and just update it here. I think you have a login. So once if you see a discrepancy, you can update it, and then it'll update in our terminal table. So it'll then reflect for everyone.
Got it.
yes.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Continue.
So the next screen I would like to go over is the anchor point information. So this is the information that has been provided to us by the inbound planners of each terminal. So you guys can get a view of where the anchor points are for each terminal, and the top button in this map screen is the show or hide zones. So you guys can click on that. That is going to display you the zone information. So if you guys can click on that, it'll tell you what zone it is and what zip it is. And so this is the anchor point for that particular zone, which has a start time of 10:45, and the empty time provided to us is 1600.
Can you explain to me what you're calling an anchor point?
So anchor point is something that we use in optimization to trigger the route to end in a certain zone, pick up heavy.
End point. Okay.
It's a fictitious pickup point that doesn't really exist, but it helps in tuning your delivery routes to end at a certain portion of your geo area.
Okay. Thank you.
And Deb, this is what we used to refer to as a pickup positioning point.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this page, you guys can view all the information about the anchor points in this page. And the main page is the Scenario Explorer. So right now I am in plan date July 22nd, and the scenario is sequence optimizer plan, and the scenario ID is 400. So this is the page where you guys can change different plan dates. Say if I want to look at August 9th, I just click it, and I see different scenarios for August 9th. And so right now we have two scenarios for each plan date. One is the XPO planned, and the other one is sequence optimizer, which RouteMAX provides. And you guys can click on it to view a particular scenario, and it automatically changes to that scenario right here. So in case if you guys want to look at different scenarios, analyze different scenarios, this is where you come and change the plan dates and click on a scenario.
You can also show cloning. So in case you want to...
So if you guys want to do some what-if analysis, say you guys want to, this is the XPO plan and you guys want to copy it. So this is the top button right that you see here is the copy scenario button. So you click on a scenario and click this button. That is going to copy a scenario, clone a scenario for you, and you guys can name it and click on that scenario to do some what-if analysis, make some stop moves, or choose a particular stop as a first stop, like do all those kind of stuff, play with and do some analysis with it.
Right. So your scenario is essentially a sandbox where you can do isolated what-if analysis without affecting your other scenarios. So if you want to just play around without affecting the XPO plan or sequence optimizer plan, and we're going to create something for dynamic routing also next. So this is how you would do it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So let me go back to this. Okay. So now you guys know how to change the scenarios and change plan dates. And Satish, I think you missed the part. So this is where you can change the terminal as well. So right now we are currently in NRO terminal, and you can also change your terminals here and choose corresponding plan dates for analysis.
I was looking for it and I found it in my local.
Oh.
Login.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Now let me go to the shipment management screen. So this is the screen where you see all the shipments on a particular plan date. The bottom bar is the KPI grid, where you see how many routes were planned and what is the total miles for it, total hours, and there were 154 builds that was planned for that date and 121 stops. So right now we aggregate shipments going to a single customer and make it as a single stop. So that is where you see the number of stops here. And
what scenario are we looking at? Is this XPO planned or is it something that you optimized?
So I think I cloned it from the XPO planned and named it as demo. This is the XPO planned scenario for 8th of August.
Got it.
Yeah. So, and the KPI goals that we saw in the other screen, the settings page, these are the numbers that was there, present there, and stops per hour and miles per stop.
Yeah.
What is the
So,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but can somebody close the attendance screen over on the right? It's covering half of the map.
You can just minimize the one on the top right. Close it here.
I think that's individual, right? You can close it on your own because if we don't see the attendance screen.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
There will be a minimize button at the top.
I found one. Okay, I got it. Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, this is the case. So you guys can ignore the total cost part right now. I think Satish, you had a question on this. Right now,
I think it's a very crude one. We have it's I think $1.7 per minute or something. So you can. This is purely a multiplicative factor of miles, cost per mile or cost per minute. And this is something we got from another carrier. Might not be relevant for XPO. The remaining statistics will be.
Okay, so just to make sure I understand this, if you look at the miles per stop, the 16.5 is the goal that you have, or you have been given, I think, by our team, and 9.2 is what the plan is saying.
Correct.
Right? So one of the things to keep in mind is if you think about the goals that you got from, let's say, Richard, right? Those are goals for the whole trip, which includes delivery and pickup. We don't have delivery specific goals, right? So, but what you're looking at here is only deliveries, right?
That's right. Yes, correct.
So it will obviously be way different, but it's something to keep in mind as to why the actual value is so different from the goal, because you're only looking at half of the route.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, and another question. I see 9 missed appointments. Do we know what those were missed?
Yeah, we can see all those.
We'll go to that. Yeah, once we go to the route planning screen, we'll actually dive into that.
Yeah. So
missed appointment, does that mean it couldn't solve for that?
No, it's just that this is XPO plan. So based on the data that was provided to us, we did the ETA calculations with the start times that were given for each route, and we projected when each driver would reach each of the stops, and we compared that with the delivery window that was provided for that customer. It could be receiving hours, it could be an appointment, and was the ETA outside of that delivery window? If so, that's considered a missed appointment.
Okay, thank you.
And the other thing is, I'm kind of trying to remember, I wish I had Kunal join this call. I'll forward it to him, see if he can still join. So I'm trying to understand if I think we gave you the dispatch time information, right? Not the actual information. So what this is saying is at the time the routes were dispatched, they were planned to miss 9 missed appointments. But in actual, drivers might have executed it differently and possibly missed fewer or maybe more. Who knows? We want to take a look at that to see what happened in these cases.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. As you said, these are this is the planned scenario. At the time of dispatch.
Yeah.
So the actual might be entirely different. Missed appointments might be less,
more or less,
might be more.
Yeah.
So this is the planned scenario that you guys are seeing here.
Would it be possible for you to load the actual scenario if we gave you the data? It should be, right?
We already have the data. I think we can load it and provide it to you guys for each date.
Because what would be interesting to look at is for this particular site, NRO. I mean that was the intent. I think when we discussed last time, we want to look at how it was planned and how it turned out. So in this case, if the way it was planned to miss 9 appointments. But how many did we actually miss appointments?
Yeah, from the actual arrive to these stops and actual departure, did they actually miss the appointment?
Yes.
That would be good to know.
So that is the plan, Satish, Nate. We will be loading actuals soon. We started working on the optimization and all of that. Where we can do that, and we'll let you know once it's in the system.
Got it. Thank you.
So on this particular screen, I would like to go over a few stuff. So even in all the maps that you guys see, you guys have the show or hide zones where you can visualize, how many stops are there for a particular plan date in one particular zone. So the leftmost grid is the quick filters, where you can filter out shipments that you guys see here. Say if you guys want to filter out the liftgate shipments, just click on it. So it will display all the liftgate shipments for that particular plan date.
So this is not, in reality, I mean, right now I know all these are planned into routes, but in reality, when you go to the shipment, it would show both the planned shipments and unplanned shipments too, right, in this here?
Yeah, correct.
Yes. Okay. So in the shipment management screen, it's a window into it's a superset of all your shipments.
Got it.
And so this is based on ETA. If you guys want to see the shipments that arrived before 2 a.m. that was available at dock before 2 a.m. for the corresponding plan date, these are the filters that
you can apply multiple filters also. Things that came before 2 and liftgate and hazmat. So you can
So you guys can combine different filters. Like this will do an AND operation across each column. So this filter essentially means what are the shipments that arrived after 4 a.m. and that needs a lift gate.
Yep.
So you guys can also view the residential shipments. I think this will come in handy to see which are the shipments that needs a pop. Correct. And
how are you determining if a stop is residential or not? Did we provide that data? We haven't done. I don't think we provided it.
Right? We got one column for that in the data. Satish.
We got a flag.
I think Kunal has provided it, and also John has provided us the zones in each service center that needs a pub. So we use that information also to determine whether a shipment needs a gate or not.
Got it. So let's say if we did not provide it, how do you guys have a way to determine if a location is residential or not? Kind of a relatively foolproof way.
At this point, we don't, Satish. We would have to go for some third-party APIs to figure that out. We don't have the knowledge.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is we've looked at third-party APIs and they're not very reliable for our definition of what residential is.
Right. So that's why we are falling back to the carriers. They typically have a historical profile based on which we can get started, and over a period of time, we build that customer database.
Got it.
And maybe one quick thing, Lasso, do you want to show? So the main reason, another useful feature over here is, let's say the planner comes in here, he identifies, maybe you can just put the pub shipments and see if you can. So these residential shipments, you can see that this is spread across multiple zones, and maybe you have equipment restrictions in your terminal service center, and the planner wants to create a route on the fly for these three. So what he can do is he can draw a lasso around, click, I think it's the zones, just turn off the zones and try again. So you can draw a lasso around these three. So there's a rectangle or a lasso select, and you can basically create a route on the fly and say, help create a route for these three shipments. And then you can say what's the start time, what's the trailer type, and then you can either assign it to an existing route or assign it to a new route on the fly. So this helps planners create routes as they sift through shipments before they even get into the route planning screen.
So by the way, we are doing the same thing too.
Oh, nice. Perfect. So then we don't need.
But just because we're also allowing them to do multiple lassos, like if they're kind of disjointed for whatever reason.
Correct. Nice. Perfect. So then, then we don't.
So any of these that they create will, when they run the optimizer, it would just ignore those and not try to reroute them, right?
So it depends. So can you lasso that again? So we have a concept of locking for routes. So when you create the routes, you have the ability to indicate the status as lock, partial lock, or unlock. If you lock it, then nothing goes in, nothing goes out. If you do partial lock, then the optimizer will not remove anything, but it will explore the possibility of adding freight to that route. Okay. And unlock if you give the ability to break it down.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I like that.
That's basically it.
Also, if you guys want to look at the feature of a particular shipment, you guys can click on it and to know what is the Pro ID and the service window that we got, and what is the weight and the pallet space equivalent that the shipment is going to take, and the address and the consignee name. And so when you hover over the special instructions, you guys can also see all the special instructions tied to the customer, tied to the consignee. So you guys have that information as well.
I think this is, let's move to route planning.
In the route planning view, it has been broken down into 3 grids. So one is the routes grid, and the map view, and the stops and the shipments grid. So this routes grid contains all the routes that has been planned for the particular plan date, and the red dots that you guys see here indicate the missed appointments for that particular route. and if you guys hover over that, it tells you what kind of violation it is. So it could even be, a pro has been planned for a particular route that is arriving later than the start time of the route. There could be violations like that as well, but it tells you all the infeasibilities present in the route. And in the bottom, you guys see information about the summary of the routes grid. We have 18 routes, out of which there are 6 missed appointments, and yeah, these two I think are the crucial information. And if you guys want to see what missed appointments are there in this, say in this particular route, you guys go to this bottom screen, and you guys will see a red dot on that particular stop, which has infeasibility as well. In this particular case, the delivery window of this particular stop is 8 to 16, and it is reaching there by the driver is reaching there by 16:20 as per the plan. So it's going to reach after the end time of the customer. That is why we see this violation right here. And you guys will also see the stop summary right here.
You can click on the 2 missed appointments.
Yeah, you guys can also click on the missed appointments to just see only the missed appointments for that particular route. And so you have different fields, so you guys can maximize the particular grid that you guys want to look at, and you guys have show or hide columns. You guys can drag and drop particular columns that you guys want to see, and
so hide columns.
You guys can also click on it to hide a particular column. So and again, once these things, you guys have to do this only once, and this will be set as a user preference. So the next time you guys log in, you guys will see particular fields in a particular order that you guys set. And the other thing is you guys can download the grid. Almost all the grids have ability to download the data from all the grids. So if you guys want to do some analysis on a particular data on a particular plan, that you guys can download that, and it'll download it as a CSV file.
Question. The column that has APT on it, is this an appointment?
Yes.
Yes.
So the count
7 stops have appointments maybe.
So when you have a count of 7, like if you go down 2 row, this means like you have 7 appointment on this route.
Yes. 7 appointment shipments on that route.
Yeah, there are 7 appointment shipments on this route.
It could be 1 stop behind the scene. So the count is referring to the number of shipments, not the number of stops.
No. It is the number of stops. So you guys see it here, right? So there are 7 different stops with appointments.
If you go to shipment, what is the? I think it's also, so these are probably 1 stop. I think it's an aggregation on the shipment property, and we are just showing it there. In this particular case, I think it's all 1 stop route. So it's 7:7.
Yeah.
So
I think
and Vinayak and Raghu, I think one request for you. I think it's I think we kind of get an idea of the UI, how that looks and all that. But I'm just you're going over this for us because you're trying to help us. How do we evaluate the optimization, right? How can we get in there and evaluate how optimization is doing? So what you're showing is our planned scenario, and then you said you have a scenario for our actuals. Have you run the optimization yet or not yet? We
have done it. So the sequence optimized that you saw there is, so we took XPO plan and then we just ran sequence optimization on each of those to see if we could come up with a better sequence for each of the routes and hopefully bring down the missed appointments. That is what we did. And then we also ran route optimization for 2 of the terminals.
Yeah.
NRO.
But we are just waiting to get this thing validated.
Correct. No, but Satish's question whether we ran. So we also ran dynamic routing on these input data for 2 of the terminals. Now, what we are waiting on, Satish, is to run the sequence optimization output against the SMEs for them to look at it and say, okay, the travel times, the speeds, the missed appointments, Is that good? Because in the plan, if there are 9 missed appointments, and say we have say 6, then we want to know whether it is okay to add some slack to the time windows. Then in that case, we can even get some reduction of routes. So we want to know how much slack we have.
Got it. So let me restate that just to make sure I understood this one. You said the sequence optimizer is you retain the stops that are on the route, but you just resequence them in the way you think it would be optimal.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And route optimization is where you essentially take all the shipments and create new routes, and the idea here is maybe optimization will result in fewer number of routes and use a fewer number of drivers and fewer missed appointments.
Correct.
And here I can see the sequence optimized plan, but I don't see the name that says, is it the first one, the plan where you say it's route optimized, I mean?
So route optimized is not there right now. We have it in our dev environment right now. We were thinking of validating the sequence optimization plan right now, because that might change the results of
the route optimization. Yeah, so we want to calibrate this, but we have it internally. I mean, it's just a question of running it and making it available here. We haven't done it yet. Yeah.
Makes sense. So for this one, I think now that you're giving access to the system, I think we can review the sequence optimized plan in the system itself, and we would like to do 2 things. One is obviously we'll run it by the SMEs, and John, I mean, you and I can chat about that one, the inbound planners itself, and just get their qualitative feedback on these routes. But the second thing I would like Kunal's help on this one is I want to look at when the shipment arrived at the service center. So because now you have an advantage of planning it after the fact, where you're making an assumption that all those were available. So we just want to validate it from that angle. Is this different because when they actually dispatched it, the freight arrived in out of order or something like that? I don't know what that might be. So we'll validate it from that point of view as well.
So Satish, to that point, we are getting the inbound ETS, if you recollect. So if you go to shipment management, let's go to the. Yeah, we see, right. So yeah, we see. So we do have that information, and when we do the route optimization, we actually are on even footing compared to the planner. So this is a point-in-time snapshot where he's giving us for each Pro ID at that point in time what was the expected time of inbound arrival, and the optimization is going to take the same input and optimize.
Got it. Did Kunal give you the expected time of arrival or actual time of arrival?
I'm not sure.
I believe it's the actual.
He gave the actual?
Yeah.
Okay. He gave. I'm not sure.
I don't think it is the time of arrival.
It's not a point in time.
Dispatch.
Okay. We got.
I think even at the time of dispatch, it is going to be the actual arrival, right?
No, like what if it is not arrived? Freight is not arrived, then it will be a projected. So we can ask Kunal, Satish. Like we got a field with inbound arrival time. We're not sure. Most likely it will be actuals.
Okay. We'll talk to Kunal as well and we'll validate it here.
Correct. I mean, from our standpoint, the model, if we can just repopulate if you give us projected times, and we can rerun the model on it.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing you want to do is validate if the stop sequences are right, or how did that work out. So that's our action item.
And then also look at mainly the time windows. So the missed appointments. So do we really have to be strict about it, or we look at the actuals and see, okay, they actually went there at 17:30, so we can adjust. We can allow a 30-minute slack. That way, the route optimizer has some more bandwidth to move things around.
Got it.
So that kind of feedback also will help. Yeah.
I want to clarify one thing. It's going to be important here. When the inbound planner, worked at 2 a.m. in the morning, he does not have an exact time of when the shipment will arrive. So he could have planned a route to start at 8 o'clock, but the route actually was dispatched at 9. That's why sometimes you may see a delay in the delivery window causing missed appointment. But based on his plan, when he planned to leave at 8 o'clock, it will not miss this kind of appointment. So that's one thing also to look between looking on the data after the actual time that you see comparing to the data that the inbound planner was looking for, which is everything is prediction, not actuals.
So that's I totally agree, and that is the whole point, right? We're trying to compare plan versus plan. So imagine RouteMAX was given to the planner, what would he have done versus what did he do without RouteMAX at the same time? So this is not bringing in any of the information from the doc or the actuals. So that is how the pilot scope has been defined as well. We just want to do at the time of planning, what is the benefit of having the optimization versus not having it.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, we'll look at it from that angle.
Yep, that's all, Satish. I think we wanted to just give you a basic know-how so that you can find your way around. I think you know the rest of it. You've seen it enough times, like the stop moves and making changes to the plan, and all of that is straightforward.
And one more thing is, you guys also have access to the help page right here on the top.
Yeah.
If you guys click on that, you guys will see a user manual which you guys can refer to as well.
Yeah, if needed. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Anything else, Satish or John?
I'm good. I think this is helpful. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Stop recording, and yeah, we can end the meeting. We'll share the recording with them.